Hello and welcome everybody to the patch notes for March 20th. We're going to go straight into it. We have the Ataraxian Orzekea Dungeon coming out. So on the first week of this update, you can enjoy the suggested quest in normal difficulty and the field monster zones in Elvia realm. You can enter it at the Ancient Stone Chamber, so Magia. It is the 4th dungeon shown at the furthest right. If you are doing the dungeon runs, you can also enter from the other garden doorways. Okay, here we are. For the Orzekea Questline, they've added a suggested quest involving the story of Orze, the 4th Tekima of Ataraxian, and you pretty much unravel the mysteries of Orze's whereabouts through the Orzekea suggested questline. And Orze's story is woven with those of Vaha, Sika, and Yolu, and complete the suggested quest of Amakea and Sikrokea and Yolunakia, then start via the Black Spirit. So it seems that the other dungeon quests are a requirement first. To start the quest line, you summon the Black Spirit with a character that has completed Yolu's Paradise quest in Yolunakia and accept the Ataraxian Patron's Influence quest. The questline can only be done on the normal difficulty and not in Elvia, and is available for any character above level 60. They do advise to have finished the dungeon stories plus the Mountain of Eternal Winter, just for a more immersive storytelling experience, and pretty much if you need a refresher, maybe do them on another character. Orzekea has daily quests. The daily quests are done with the Investigation Secret Guards Investigator and Society of Equilibrium Archaeologist that is inside, which is Investigator Ivor. His location is inside at the foot of the stairs between Orze's root and Orze's base in the Elvia realm. They've also added 14 new general quests to help explore Orzekea, Orze's root, Orze's base, Orze's petal, Orze's mine, and Orze's garden. The NPCs are Evelina, Soren, Narissa, Ferdinand, and Fauna, and they each have 3 quests except for the last, which has 2. The dungeon has normal and Elvia. Orzekea plays different role on the normal server and in Elvia realm. You can proceed with the quest on the normal server while you engage with field monsters in the Elvia realm. The 5-player co-op boss subjugation for the dungeon is scheduled to be updated during the March 27th update, so next week. And it will also be categorized into a normal and Elvia realm, allowing you to select the difficulty for the challenge. Concerning the field monster zones, when you enter Orzekea from the Elvia realm, you find general monster zones where the lethal weapons like Spiran, Centaurian, and Leos show up. As you subjugate these monsters, the alert phases are activated, bringing forth ancient weapon versions, and once you reach the final alert phase, and Alkeda will then spawn an even stronger monster with a notice. The monsters here are not affected by any racial extra damage, so they are most likely animals. The recommended AP is 350 with a recommended DP of 440. The base total stats is 1100 plus, and the recommended damage reduction is 700 plus. And here we have a Centaurion, a Leos, a Spiran, and finally Alkeda displayed. The main loot that you obtain from these mobs are Deboreka belts, Deboreka earrings, the Gem of Void, which we'll talk about in a little bit, Kaphra stones, ancient spirit dust, black stones, sealed black magic crystals, and thorn entwined weapon fragments, which is the junk loot, which sells for 96,040 silver at shops. For Orze's thread, so throughout Orzekea you can find Orze's threads, which is the puzzles from the first 3 dungeons. These threads are mysterious clues left by Orze, hoping someone would find her, and they are definitely some puzzles. We'll be looking into that once we get to them. The Gem of Void, as mentioned earlier, is a drop from all the Grindzones inside the dungeon. It allows an upgraded version of the crystal, of the Akrad, which is an upgrade of the Glorious Crystal of Gallantry Akrad, and an upgrade to the Crystal of Precise Destruction. In both cases, the crystals gain +2 extra monster AP for the upgrade. The recipe is 30 gem of voids, which are the drops, the appropriate crystal, 300 magic lightstone crystals, and 500 black stones. Quests for recovering the knowledge and first completion are also provided for this dungeon. So just like with the first 3 dungeons, at 50 knowledge you will get some rewards, in this case a 70 stack. And at 130 knowledge for the dungeon, you will gain a 130 stack and a title. Once you also clear it for the first time, you will also gain a manor decoration, which is called Ancient Weapon of Araxian, which can be installed in the manor. And as usual, there are some obtainable titles for completing the dungeon, one of them being Sinner of the Stronghold, the First Savior, and other titles are Orze's Plaything, Thorn in Your Side, Failure the Morzer out of Success. Okay, that one's pretty weird, but funny. And Al-Qaeda Job Done, which is just for defeating Al-Qaeda once. Then we're going to go into the character updates. So Awakening Warrior was one of the losers of this patch. It is getting pretty much damage nerfs across the board, in the percentage and PvP penalty being slightly adjusted, but not much. Sorc main is getting a halt overall. It is gaining cooldowns and also losing cooldowns, so a bit of a mixed bag. It is also losing super armor on some skills while gaining super armor on others. I would say do double check your combos on Succession Sorc. This will probably throw things around, especially if you also use Succession skills on your Awakening. Otherwise, it is gaining damage across the board. We're going to slowly scroll through this. Finally, the jump height effects of Nightcrow are also, this is a bit more of a detail for both. Nightcrow is no longer being affected by jump height. In the case of Tamer, Succession is the big winner. She got some extra forward guard effects on skills. There is some changes on the debuffs being removed, however, CCs being removed, but she's also gaining a lot more minus DP. Instead of changing minus 15 DP, it is minus 15 magic DP. It is gaining minus 30 DP. Again, some extra forward guards. She's also gaining a magic AP plus 16 for herself. And again, another all DP on hits debuff being changed from minus 20 to minus 30. And for that one, another one, a all DP minus 10 is being removed. So overall, it looks like quite a big buff across the board. Again, damage buffs are also in the kit of this update. So Succession Tamer might be a bit more powerful. Do watch out for that. For Awakening, they have unified the DP reduction on hits for the 3 skills that had it, all to minus 30 DP for 10 seconds on hits. Awakened Musa is also getting some changes. The movement speed and attack speed debuffs have been removed from 2 skills, the Crust Crusher and Searing Slam. They've also improved the combo from the Dash Slash. But they have changed for that the Counter Assassination attack speed debuff, changing from minus 10% to minus 20. And they've also changed the All AP buff from plus 10% to plus 20 on Musa's Resolve. So as such, a bit of attack speed debuff being lost on 2 skills, but for that it's unified on another with a doubling of the stats. Otherwise, it's got damage buffs across the board again. I don't know if Awakening Musa really needed it. They were pretty powerful last AOS, but we'll see how much. In this case, PvP shouldn't be too affected because the PvP modifier is also being changed significantly. Another big winner or big change is the Archer. It is gaining a lot of range and losing a lot of range on a bunch of skills. So on the Grand Bloom, it is losing its movement speed debuff and also range. It's also losing range on Mark Bloom, but for that, on Light's Trail, it is increasing the attack area. Steady Breath and Exhale will now share cooldowns, and only one of the skills can be activated at a time. But for that, the cooldown has been changed to 5 seconds. It is also gaining more HP recovery. Overall, I spoke to an Archer main. They said this might be a really good change, but they will be looking into it for sure. Overall, also, the skill resource is going from stamina to mana in the case. They've also added changes to Verdure Clout. Again, change that it's not available to cooldown. And a bunch of forward guard changes. And the float is also being only applied in PvE. Earth Shatter, it is gaining the forward guard. And they've changed the knockback to also be PvE only. And they've removed the pain. For covering fire, they changed the resource skill from stamina to mana as well, and it now recovers stamina during use. And they've changed to turn the character according to the camera direction up until the attack, so mouse movement might not be working as intended anymore. Gaping Darkness is gaining super armor from frontal guard. They've changed the skill resource to stamina, and that it's not available during cooldown. Watcher, it is now available via quick slot. The Storm of Light has been changed to be available with your Great Bow, and they've added a forward guard effect. Meteor Drive, they've increased the distance traveled, and the recover mana per hit has been changed to recover 100 HP per attack. Bolt of Radiance now applies for PvP, the knockback. They've improved the comboing again. All AP buff for Great Bow training is from +10 to +20. They've also removed the all AP buff from Glissade, and they've changed Glissade's buff from range AP to all AP +20. Again, a movement speed reduction removed. Shadebound Beam, cooldown increased from 25 to 90. And again, Zephyr Sleep, in all its forms, is getting massive changes. So you no longer recover stamina. They've removed the mana recovery. They have changed the stiffness to PvE only, but this is where your movement speed -20 has been added and unified. And in the case of Glissade, as mentioned earlier, there's some changes. So the mana is going into stamina, and they've removed the attacks 2 and 3, and they removed the recovery of HP, and they've increased the distance traveled. So here we can see the after change, it slides forwards and just instantly knocks down. Super armor on skill. Uproot, they've unified the damage. Low leap, again, cooldown, no cooldown availability. Righteous Smite is going to forward guard from super armor. Glide was super armor while moving, now it's invincible with super armor during the skill. They've changed the stamina consumption from 200 to 100, and they did the same for Piercing Cry and Tactical Strike. Damage is again gaining significantly across the board, with the PvP modifiers sometimes matching, but in some cases it looks like it might actually give a bit of a PvP buff to Archer as well. Lahn no longer gets the attack speed buff on Flailing Blades. This is Lahn Awakening. Taunting Death, they've moved the all AP buff to Eradication. They've also changed the cooldowns up slightly, while they've lowered the cooldown on Mangler. They've lowered the cooldown on Furore. Dancing with Death has been reduced. Blood Moon Twist has been increased. They've moved up the cooldown by 1 on Bridal Despair. They've moved it up on Tailspin. Down on Vice. Binding Change has gone down by 1 second, and Earthly Pain is increased. Damage-wise, a few skills are getting damage buffs, again with appropriate PvP modifiers, just slightly lagging behind, so a bit of PvP gain. Succession Sage is gaining a floating on hits debuff to PvE only on Void Gateways. Awakening is the bigger winner here. They've changed the stiffness to be PvE only, but for that they've now applied super armor and invincibility and super armor when overcharged on Lightning Surge. They have removed the down smash, but for that they've changed the air attack and down attack to be applied without being overcharged. Judgment now deals damage separate to Divine Executioner. You can also now apply skill add-ons to this flow. They've changed to cost stamina under all circumstances, and the stamina cost has been reduced by 50. The cooldown of Divine Executioner has been pushed down. Stamina cost of Bolt has gone from 200 to 100. Impaling Flash will no longer charge towards enemies, but now moves a certain distance. And if you catch an enemy in the path, it will activate an attack before stopping. They've also changed the debuff on hits from stun PvE only to a knockback. They've improved also the comboing and also the skill resource from mana to stamina. Chain Lightning now does a minus 30 DP debuff. They've also added a forward guard to this skill. For that, they've removed the pain, and they've added the shocked effect, which reduces all speeds to struck targets. Spear Bolt, they've increased the defensive duration after the dash, and for that, they've reduced the defensive effect while using the attack 1. Seize has gone down in cooldown by 2 seconds, and Spear Bolt and the flow aftershock, they've changed so the camera instantly moves behind the target after dashing during the skill. Again, some damage changes, overall a bit more unification. PvP modifiers are matching. There's also some general class changes, which is the Musa projection, where they fixed an issue with the blades applied to crosscut. In Sorceress, there's another small fix on Engulfing Shadow and Shadow Ignition. And on Arsha, they fixed the description of the Flow Grand Bloom to reflect its actual critical hit rate. For the hardcore server, there has been also some adjustments. So the Black Spirit's influence was lifted from Gaha's bandits and Pilaku jail monsters, and they have now been weakened and await challenges of adventurers. They've changed the quest names and adjusted the acceptance conditions for some of the daily quests from NPC Fasal. So, depending on your current survival points, you might be getting different quests with bigger quest points. They've also added regions where penalties are no longer applied for killing an adventurer under 20% of your survival points. The minus 30% reduction penalty will not be applied anymore at the bosses Leighton and Peturum, and regions where Furious Gaha's bandits and Furious Pilaku jail monsters appear, and also in the Akhman Temple in History of Ruins as before. They've also improved the rules for the dark fog that occurs. Now there is some additional rules. When the dark fog is created, you will be teleported to a separate space now for the combat to occur. Other adventurers cannot intrude inside. When only one adventurer is left standing in the fog, they will be moved back to the original location. And they've changed that the fog will be activated more often. There's also some more added, Shrouded Warriors who roam the hardcore server. So we have the Pit of Undying mobs, Valken, Farid, Evergard, Bennett, Kunga, and Brody appearing. They appear in their appropriate location with the matching green, blue, or yellow grade accessory boxes, with a small survival points being given to you as a reward for the kill. They've also changed the loot drop from bosses Leighton and Peturum. So now they also give accessory boxes at a higher grade, and pretty much just a bit more yellow grade, even from Leighton, being possible drop. They've also increased the gear box drop rate for all monsters except ancient weapons. They've added effects for when you get special buffs. They've also improved the description for the special buffs. They've changed the 5-minute extra damage to humans buff effect, so before it was plus 300, it will now be plus 100. And they added validity period information to the description of traveler maps, and changed the icons for Enduring Blood Sandcrow main weapons. And they improved the description of the hardcore server on the server selection screen. For Red Battlefield, they've changed the standby location in Castle Ruins. You now go into the blue area and will get teleported. They've also adjusted the terrain of the map, so they've changed the protection effects when exiting, going in, and also just general map changes. War of the Roses has also had a small system change for the factions to be more evenly distributed. For the season server, we now have the 1000 hot time being always applied. This was already the case. But currently there is also an extra event for when you reach level 60 in season. You will get another Pen Boss Gear armor piece, which is pretty good for those starting out. We're also going to get another Radiant Start box, which has Patricia's Pocket Watch in, to level up a character to 61 instantly, with boss weapon sets at TED and boss armor sets at TED, and some Kaposha accessories. And finally also the Cool Wind fishing rod, which is a multi-catch fishing rod for multiple fish. It is brandable and cannot be repaired, and the max auto fishing time is reduced with a max fishing mastery of plus 100 and a max durability of 1000 on it. There's also a small reminder of the Fugar's leveling aid for new adventurers. Finally, there is a small adjustment for the ability to view the quests completed in the other tab, and they've added an item combination related text to the description of taking the chance quest. Small UI changes for the dungeon entry, party entry, and single entry being changed to normal and story. And they've improved the crystal effects menu to display other characters' inventory to show that based on the unlocked crystal slots of your characters. And they've changed the border color of white crate items again. Finally, they've adjusted the schedules for the following content of world bosses to the start of summertime. So Node Wars, Conquest, Taxwagon, Guild Week, and War of the Roses. So fort construction times are still available up to an hour before the Conquest War begins. The time to select Node War for the Lord of the Unlimited Territory group has also been adjusted, and for War of the Roses, the application and selection time for the leading guild and application time for the 3rd Legion has also been adjusted. For the web, they've changed the web storage menu to be removed due to the integration of the purchase history menu. And they fixed an issue where the move to the top button was not exposed on the main screen of the Black Desert app, and some new wallpapers have been added to the wallpaper menu on the official website. Small translation fixes were unified into English for Ataraxian Archive, Orzekea, and Everfrost, and the Hidden Thread of Truth has been changed to Thread of Hidden Truth. And finally, we have some general modifications or changes on the hardcore servers where some creatures would appear where they were not supposed to, and in general, quests were automatically accepted, and some phrasing of items. Otherwise, appearance changes as well, and some text changes. For the events, we have the Arsha leaderboard coming from March 20th to March 27th. There will be an NA and EU leaderboard. The current times for the events are for EU Friday 20:30 to 21:30 CET. For Saturday 16 to 17 CET and 14 to 15 CET on Sunday. Here you must be in the Navarn Steppe node and also in the affiliated node with Navarn Steppe for death and kills to be counted. Pretty much it's a standard Arsha kill, point kill event again. So your daily consecutive kills on the same adventurer, and you will gain points for the first kill 10, second kill 8, third kill 6, fourth kill 4, fifth kill 2. 6 and beyond, you will no longer get points for the kills, and if you die, it is -4 points. If you play on the Arsha leaderboard for an hour on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you will gain a participation reward, and earn participation and rank rewards. So after 3 kills in one day, you will get 500 million. If you rank first, you will get 300. And for every ranking between 2nd and 30th, it will go down by 1000 G gold bar. Then we have the classes in with greater support event, which is the reach level 60 with a season character to gain the extra boxes that were mentioned, the Ted boss armor and the Pen boss armor and the new fishing rod. So that covers that. Now also the 1000 combat hot time, and a small reminder of your daily focus rewards, which can be your mercenary's experience or mercenary life scrolls. You can also have the choose your special courses from BD Academy professors. So you can cast your vote for your favorite event and join the top 3 with the most votes. So you will be able to pick up a challenge box, which is the Old Moon class voting box. So you vote for the event, course pass you want in each class. So first off, after the April 3rd maintenance, the top 3 courses will then be chosen to begin. First selection is between, well, we have a treasure hunting event possible for course 1. Course 2, Grave Robber Afarara subjugation, which will have it spawn more frequently, and Goblin Secret Elixir and Gold Bar happening. Course 3 has the enhanced blessing of the morning buffs, so it will double the blessings of the Land of the Morning Light to double the effect. For the Grana courses, you can be picking Gathering, Cooking, and Alchemy and Spirits, so again the Gathering minigame times 10, and also Blessing of Spirits at 7 probability, and Dallas Chain effects for Cooking and Alchemy. Or the Unknown Ore event, which is the Unknown Ore 20 to Dallas Chain for a one-time family quest, and the Unknown Ore for special items. Or the Taming and Delivering Wild Horses event, which is the typical horse event. Then we also have the Bountiful Catch, which is during the course, special fish can be caught at designated spots. Or a 1 Marnie's Unstable Fuel for item copy event, and a 100% Kafir's extraction rate. Or a Guild Boss Summon doubled, and the 4 Old Moon's guild missions are added. The last event is the I'm the Class President Now, which is just a showing your class spirit with 12 unique titles. If you visit Chitina, the Old Moon Guild Manager in Velia, you can accept a quest called School of Self-Expression Quest. It will give you a box, and that will give you 12 possible titles to choose from. The titles will match the color of your current class, and you can wear the title that best suits you, and join class events with your classmates. For that, you can go to the Class Calphion, Class Adraxia, or the Class Grana notice board. We're just going to open one real quick, which is an appropriate forum page where events and highlights will be listed. Finally, we have the Pearl Shop update, which we're going to go through as quickly as possible. We have the Season Perfect pack, which is a season character ticket pack at 30% off. It has some extra rewards. There's a scaled down version for 25% off. Spring Outfit Pack, which has a 25% off outfit box with a bonus Cherry Blossom Earring or Cherry Blossom Coronet. Artisan Memory Pack is back in 2 different variations. There's also a Rosa de Sharon Fairy appearance coupon. I checked it. This is a -5% death penalty fairy. There's also the Shining Travel Bundle. Thea's Orbs are back with 4 purchases per family within the sales period, so 20% off on 5 Thea's Orbs. Jolly Winter's Dream is back. There's also a 10% discount on the Fence of Abundance, and 20% off family inventory expansion coupons, and 25% off the entire weight category, and 30% off on the inventory category. And with that, we finished the update for March 20th. Thank you, everybody, and hopefully I'll see you in game. And let's get into the new dungeon.